go to Tahiti. You're done. You win. Make another restaurant. I don't care what your percentage is. Now here's the problem. You can take the percentages down, but guess what happens? You make less money. How can that happen, right? If I get $9 in this hand and $6 in this hand, which one do you want? Colby?
2 of the 6s.
2 of the 6s, there you go. If you can get them. If you can get them. Well, you know what? You know, and that's the McDonald's theory. The problem is you can't buy cheaply enough to make that work. Isn't that true? Well, you could if you got into breakfast. I take that back. How many of you want to get up at 5 in the morning and start breakfast? How many do breakfast? Breakfast is a great business, by the way, to be in right now, because it's got a low everyday price. Okay, let's move on. All right, now I'm going to pitch you this thing, because this is cool, and I think you'll like it. And because Pete told me to. Menu Blueprint Kit. Everything we've talked about and more is in here. It's a really cool little deal. It's a neat little device that will walk through this process. If you follow this process, you will have an engineered menu.
Talk a little bit about.
Go ahead.
Talk a little bit about highlighting. You don't have room on the menu to highlight.
Then you got to make a bigger
What
menu.
about new? I'm seeing new with new items on a lot of menus, a lot of chains and things. Is that pretty successful or increase your sales?
It is kind of. Like new is a really powerful word. That's one of those big powerful words. Now is a good powerful word. New, top seller, bestseller, those things, they're very powerful words. And they do have a great impact on the business. However, if it can only be new for a certain amount of time, so you know, after three months or so, it's really not new anymore, is it? Uncle Buck? I mean, you got to kind of take that off eventually. So you know, it sort of boxes you in. But also, you should be introducing new things all the time in your restaurant. That's what the business you're in. I mean, think about it. You're in a great industry. We do more than all the movie industry in 30 days. We do more income than they do all year. We do it all here in a month. We're $1.5 billion a day. Think about it. It's a huge industry. And it's sensual. It's wonderful. So, you know, I would say, be careful with the new thing. But what I would do is I would introduce new products. So there are 2 ways to do that. One is on appetizers. The other way is through desserts. So you get sweet savory. It's difficult on the entree side because the consumer doesn't like to risk their entree. You don't want to go home hungry. I just paid $40 and I'm hungry. This is stupid. Now I got to stop at Burger King on the way home. I'm not happy, and I'm not coming back. But they will risk their appetizer because guess what? I got the entree to back me up if I don't like my appetizer, so I'm willing to risk that. So try something new. What we usually say is if it's really burning down the house on that appetizer section, then let's go ahead and put it in. Now, by the way, anybody at pizza restaurants? Oh, good. Well, don't do pizza as an appetizer for a pizza restaurant. I see this all the time. Like, why would you have an appetizer of pizza and then eat a pizza? It doesn't make any sense. And then, oh, by the way, we got a dessert pizza too. You want 3 pizzas? Why? You know, do something else. You know, do something interesting. Interest me. But the other thing is there's a style element to this that's really important. That is your way of doing a very common thing, right? Your way of doing something that makes it interesting. However that is, you can figure that out. I can figure it out if I look at a matrix. I can heartbeat because it's all there. It tells you exactly what you're doing, what your customers think of you, and where you can put energy to grow your business. And I have operators who call me all the time, every week. Thank you so much, this is great. I'm making money I didn't know I had. I got money in my checkbook, which is cool. I can make my payments on time, that's great too. And they pay themselves a little, and that's not bad either. And you should get paid for it. Everybody raise your right arm, repeat after me, real quick. Come on, raise your right arm. I'm entitled to a profit. Right? So I wonder sometimes, oh my gosh, you're not a soup kitchen. Charge them. And then charge them on the way out too. And make them thank you. Oh no, I got a better deal than you did. Thank you so much. I'm glad I gave you all that money. That was great. Any other questions? Hey, this is your chance. Anything? No? Everybody's good? You're all? Yes?
I'm sorry I missed the first part, but I'm assuming that pictures are quite important.
Well, we didn't really talk about pictures. Pictures are really, really important if they're good pictures. When in doubt, go without. That can be your mantra. When in doubt, go without. Now here, I want to just sum up with one little thing. If you're wondering about your brain, and I want you to write these, do you have everything got something to write with? Okay, write these words down. Is, Is this us? Is this us? Here's what you're going to do. When you're going to introduce a new product, you can leave that off. I'm done with the jumbo jet now. When you're going to introduce a new product, what you're going to do is you're going to sit in a quiet space with no servers around you. This might be 3 in the morning. Probably will be, because that's about the only time you're going to, because you'll be awake anyway, because you're worried about your business, right? You're going to sit in a quiet place. You're going to get your mind completely centered. Now I teach, by the way, big companies, Acre Food Products, ConAgra, State Fair Foods, how to meditate their brand. Isn't that cool? Meditate their brand. And they go, what are you talking about? Well, you got to meditate your brand. What you're going to do is you're going to think about your operation. You're going to think about what's going on. Then you're going to, once you have that nice centered feeling about your business, and you really feel like you get it in here, then you're going to think about the new item that you're going to launch. And you're going to get that, let it feel from your stomach up. Now they say this all the time when you go to these tree hugging events, if you've been to one of those things, and they say, okay, you can get it in your head, but if you don't get it in your heart or your gut, you don't really have it. And here's the problem for most restaurant operators. They get it in their head, but they don't have it here. And this is where you got to get your brain, it's down in your gut. You got to feel for it. That's really critical. So is this us? That's the thing you're going to do. That's your mantra. And then what you're going to do is once you're calm, you're going to think of that new crab cake or whatever it is that you want to introduce, and you're going to go, is this us? And wait for it. Wait for it. And if you get that kind of icky, that funny feeling, like I said with the Budweiser milk, get that feeling, right away, no, probably not. But if you get this, ooh, joy, joy, this is wonderful, happy, happy, joy, joy, let's do it, then by all means launch. And you know what it comes down to that? Human beings are emotional. That's how they make decisions. No decision is ever made without emotion. Now, if you write a menu and you don't use any emotion, what are you doing? You're shutting off your customer. You need to be emotional to buy. That's how we do it. I mean, it's true in the old movie that, when you buy a Jaguar, you're thinking you're going to get chicks, right? I mean, that's what you're going to get. That's why you do it. You buy a Volvo because, sure, I can carry lots of stuff and I'm safe. Think about it. What's the emotional tie to it? What's the emotional tie to your restaurant? Why do they come? Why would anybody ever eat there, Peter? The food. Well, it's part of it. It's the atmosphere too. Anything else? I got a booth. They gave me a booth. Can you believe me in a booth? But anyway, they gave me a booth. So come on over. We'll talk if you've got questions.